This week on HomeKit News, the Remo Nano Smart IR Blaster with Matter. Welcome back everybody. Today we're looking at a unique product in that it's the first of its type with Matter. This is an IR blaster from a Japanese company called Nature with this model, the Remo Nano. The company make larger models like the Remo and the Remo Mini, but only the Nano is Matter compatible. And because it's Matter compatible, this means it's exposed to HomeKit as well as the usual platforms that also support Matter. It's called Nano due to its small size, which is actually the same size as the embossed image on the box. So as you can see, it's going to be pretty small. Let's unbox it now, and even if you can't read Japanese, this is clearly designed to control devices that come with a remote. It's powered by a USB-C cable, which is not provided however. Inside the packaging is a QR code to download the company's app, which you will need, although there's more on that later. And here's the device itself, which is about as minimalist as it gets, with not even a whiff of a company logo. But what's cool is the Remo Nano comes with an official Matter code. You can also see the USB-C port here, and regarding the Matter code, I was surprised to see this, as I expected a Matter code to only be provided in the app, so it looks like they were forward thinking. The Nano itself is under 2 inches wide and tall and weighs less than half an ounce. Putting it next to an Aqara temperature sensor, you can see it's not a lot bigger, so it's not really going to be a distraction at all, which is the case with some devices. On to initial setup, which requires a free account in the Nature Remo app. So I've got the Nano plugged in here and ready to go with the Nature Remo app open. I just select the Nano from the list, and it uses Bluetooth for initial connection, which is standard for Matter products, before eventually connecting to your Wi-Fi using the 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi band. It was very easy to set up, and once complete, I just needed to name it and place it in a room within the app, which is what you do with all apps. To be clear, this hasn't made use of the Matter code yet, so we'll do that now by adding it to Apple Home. I'll select Add Accessory, and even though older numeric HomeKit codes could be scanned, it doesn't work in the case of Matter for whatever reason, so I just need to use the manual method by tapping on More Options. The Nano leaf appears in the accessory list, and once selected, I just tap in the 11-digit code on the unit. All other steps are the same as with adding a regular HomeKit device, as you may be familiar with. Going into the settings and Home Hubs and Bridges, you can see it's in my home as a bridge. To see if it works as promised, I'm going to try and add this fan to HomeKit via the Nano. The fan can't be controlled with a smart plug as it has no mechanical power button, but it does come with a remote. So back in the Nature app, I click to add a new appliance, select fan, then simply aim the fan remote at the Nano. That is now added, although it should be noticed this sequence only offers on and off control. Back in the Home app, and if I scroll all the way down to the living room, at the bottom of that section is my fan showing as a smart plug. I can change it to a fan or even a light if I want, but I still only get on and off. Okay, so let's test it out, and here's the fan in the Home app as already seen. So if I tap on the tile, the fan should, after a couple of seconds, turn on, and as expected it works fine. Although, as already stated, you still only get to control power to the fan. I'll now add a TV remote to the Remo Nano, and this time I'm not going to use my TV remote, but select the brand instead, namely Samsung. This list shows brands more familiar in Japan, but the big names are here too, like Sony and LG for example. I'll try a set of codes, and if it works, you tap on Working, and from there all the other features will be added, with me just naming the device. The name carries over into the Home app, incidentally. Back in the Home app, you can see the TV is there, although it's just showing as an outlet as standard. Finally, I'll add an AC control. On this occasion, I'll use the remote, and once again it asks me to test the signal from the Nano, and if it's working, it's all good. If we go into the controls within the Nature app, you can see in the case of the TV, you get a full set of controls, although none of these are exposed to HomeKit. On the other hand, if we go into the AC controls in the Nature app, you also get full access to the features, including modes and fan speeds, etc. But in the case of the AC, you might be happy to hear that you almost get full control in the Home app. So as you can see, I can control the mode and temperature like any standard HomeKit AC controller, although there's one small but possibly important difference. As the Nano doesn't have a built-in temperature sensor, it just shows 0 degrees. So finally, I'll just bring all three things together now and control them using the Nano, which I've temporarily mounted to our Cove lighting area as this looks directly down on these devices. So I'll be controlling the TV, the Panasonic fan and the AC unit above, as you can see here. I'll start with the Panasonic fan, and as you can see, it works just like a charm as before to turn it on or indeed off. Next, I'll turn the TV on via HomeKit, and once again it works as expected without any issues. And yes, we do get BBC programs in Taiwan as well. Finally, to AC control. The AC in this case is an Hitachi model, and I only get access to controlling the temperature and heat or cool, which in this case I'll just turn on to cool air. So onto the pros and cons, and with Matter exposing IR blasters or remotes as a category, we can finally control a few devices, albeit in a simplified way, directly in HomeKit without Homebridge or Siri shortcuts, as well as use them in scenes and automations. As it's officially Matter compatible, it's a little more future-proof, as well as being able to work with all the main platforms. Some complain that AC controllers you can buy are a little large, so this goes to show you can go small if necessary. And speaking of AC control, this really offers a much cheaper option than most other brands, even though there's no temperature sensor included. One thing to note is that this sells only in Japan as far as I'm aware, so it's possible to buy it and ship it overseas, but the app is harder to get on iOS without setting up a Japanese iCloud account to use in the App Store first. Finally, you're currently limited to exposing only 3 devices, which appears to be a Matter limitation, as you can still add more devices via the manufacturer's app, which is also Siri shortcuts compatible. One other thing to note is that due to the nature of non-smart devices that are controlled by IR remotes, is that generally speaking these devices don't send any confirmation of their status back to these IR controllers like the Nano. This means that HomeKit takes the Nano at its word, so to speak, as to the status of the device. So if, for example, you turn the TV on in the Home app, it'll show its status as on. However, if someone then uses the original TV remote to turn the TV off again, the status in HomeKit will still show the TV to be in the on state, rendering the TV and HomeKit out of sync. This is not the fault of Nano as such, as this also affects IR-based AC controllers in HomeKit too, with the only exception I'm aware of being the Aqara P3 AC controller, which can capture signals from an AC remote to update its status in the Aqara app and Apple Home. So that's our look at the Nature Remo Nano Smart IR Blaster. But if you have any questions or comments, please drop them below and I'll reply to all questions. If you're still watching now, it probably means you enjoyed this video, so please do like, share and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And in the meantime, stay safe. And I have to admit, each time I go to bed, I pray like Aretha Franklin.